Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? I just wanted to make a quick little video to kind of get y'all familiar with who I am and what I like to do. So let's first of all start off with my name is Dewitt. I know it's kind of like a weird little name. Like a lot of people are kind of new to it. But I'm 20. I'm 27. Uh, I like to play games. I like to shoot a lot. But like I said, I just want to get y'all a little bit more familiar who I am and what the channel is about and what I like to stream. I play a lot of Call of Duty. I also like to talk to a lot of people, which is like a little plus for me, you know. Like I like to. I'm a very fun guy to chill with, but I don't want to sit there and just bore y'all with a lot of stuff, you know. So hopefully y'all can stream into the Twitch and kind of be a little bit more interactive, so I can get to know my followers and get to know some of the upcoming fans that I'll be having in the stream over the time. And I want to start small and be able to develop over the course of however long it takes. But I feel like I should get to know the world, you know. I want to get to know the world and be more open and kind of see what other people are out there, you know, just like me. So, like I said, I'm 27. I mean, a couple of my little, go ahead and just spice it up a little, couple of my little strengths and my beliefs and stuff like that. So, some of my strengths, I feel like I feel like it's in my social kind of thing. Because like I said, I like to talk to people a lot. I like to kiki and cackle. I love gaming, obviously. Like I said before, I love to go hunting. I went hunting for the first time last year, but I've always been into guns and stuff like that. So I mean, stuff like that I like to do, you know. So I feel like if I can find the same people that like to do the same thing as they're in the same qualities or into the same things that I am. That's something I really can't, you know, I can't complain about. I'm not really big on a lot of friends. Another thing, I think that I have an abundance of people that I talk to, but I think when you put them in the category as friends, it's kind of like, well, that's where the tricky part kind of comes in. I think so. So, um, you know, I don't know. I mean, I love tattoos. I love speed. I love cars that are fast. I love to go. I mean, I just love. There's like so much that I love to do in my free time. I love hamburgers and French fries. I'm not big on Mexican food. Actually, I lied. I do Mexican food. I'm not big on Chinese food. I'm not a big fan of spaghetti. Obviously, I mean, I don't. I just can't do spaghetti at all like that. I ate it so much as a kid. It just kind of didn't dwell too much on me. I will say, before I get too far in, and before y'all tune in to like the first little streams, or even like the other videos y'all might watch at a later date, to kind of give y'all like a little heads up, a little caution, a little tell. I do stutter sometimes when I get a little bit too excited when I'm talking, or if I get a little bit overwhelmed with things or questions, or like if I'm in the middle of something I'm like excited to talk about, I do tend to, like I said, like stumble on some of my words or kind of stutter sometimes, but that's all good. It's gotten better over time, especially in my little young age. It's gotten a lot better. But some of my favorite foods I like to eat, like I said, I like to eat. I love pizza, burgers. Fries is my go-to, and then them chicken nuggets from McDonald's. You can't go wrong with them nuggets from McDonald's. I feel like those are the best things that were ever invented. If I could be one piece of food, I'd want to be a chicken nugget. Honestly, I think I want to be a human chicken nugget to be dipped in honey mustard. Something about the honey mustard just sets it off in every kind of aspect of the way. Um, I will tell you a little side story of things that I learned growing up from the age of like in my teenage years to like the age I am now. Uh, I don't know, like credit. Like I said, I talked about it in my other streams. Like credit, a lot of people my age didn't know that like credit really. And this was coming from like a person at the age of like 17 or 18 who didn't know much about credit at all. But like I said, that credit can take you a long way in life. And I didn't understand that at age like 20 because like I was in debt of a car that I did not have anymore at all. So like I had this car, this '04 Honda Accord. Like I said, I was a 20-year-old, just had my first car. I was excited, but I got into a wreck and it became total. So long story short, I ended up having to pay like pretty much that extra money that I had left on the car. So I had like maybe like I can't remember the exact amount. So maybe like 4 or 5 grand left on the car, but I bought the car for like nine grand or maybe $10,000. So like from 10 grand to like 3,000 or 4,000, I ended up getting that thing all the way down there. But then I totaled it. So when I got the car at the young age that I was stuck with this balance, and that's where the little quote unquote gap insurance comes in because I didn't have gap insurance either, which a lot of people I feel like they know about gap insurance because it wasn't taught in school. So I was stuck with 3,000 or 4 grand that I had to pay back on something that I didn't have anymore. So I was upset, I was angry and stuff like that. So that was just like another little stepping stone of like when I got my next car, now I know to get gap insurance. So like I ended up the choices were like I said back to the credit part. So the choices were like I'd either pay this 4 grand off of money that I like or something I didn't own anymore, or I would just like kind of just don't worry about it. I'll let it go on my credit because at the time I was always told by my peers and my people that were older than me that hey, you know, if you put it on your credit, it'll go off. It'll kind of go off like within a 7 year period. And here I am, 20, 19 years old. I'm like, that 7 years, that's a long time. So I'm like, maybe I should just pay it off. And luckily I did because like my credit wasn't destroyed. I mean, I had a low credit score like in the 400s. I don't even know if I ever was in the 400s at all. But it was like 500 kind of range group, I think. But I mean, I'm glad I didn't, let that stuff kind of have an effect on me because I ended up paying that thing off, and it worked out for me in the long run to get my credit to where it is now, which I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. But like I said, that was seven. Yeah, so that was 7 8 years ago. And so I be telling myself like with everybody who I can kind of come across with as far as like that credit part, like your credit is important. Like you can get anything in life if you got like good credit. I don't ever want to bore anybody talking about it, but I'm saying like it's so important that you have that good credit, like as like a little thing to kind of latch onto or hold on to. Like I said, that it'll take you a long way in life. And the credit that I worked on eight, 7 years ago is the credit that I have now to where I can kind of like apply for anything that I want. But I'm not like a greedy person. I'm not like a needy person. It's just stuff that I can really go out and apply for and I can get if I really wanted it, which is the good part about working on the credit part. Um, I don't know. I went to the army at the age of like 20. Not because I wanted to. I think because I just had no other option. And like being at that age is like when you get out of school, you graduate, and people are like, what are you doing after school? It's like if you don't go to college, it's like your only two options when you graduate high school is like go to college or go to the army. I didn't want to go to college obviously because I barely got out of high school. I got out of high school like on a limb, so I decided to go to the army. But it was because like just because of the living arrangements I had at the time, it was like a option of like it was like my getaway. It was like my option to kind of get out and to go do something else differently. So I decided to go do that. So I went to the army for like a couple years, did that, got out. The physical part wasn't that it wasn't a big deal to me. It was more so the mental aspect of it as far as like, you know, people might be like, well, damn, I can deal with some yelling and stuff like that. It wasn't really the yelling part either. It was more so like just the mental aspect surrounding the whole little military aspect of it. The military is great. I don't bash it at all because I was so immature when I went to the army. So when I ended up going there and I invested that time and I like I did all that, it actually made me a more mature person at that age of being 21, 22 kind of little age, little gap. So I did that time, and I wouldn't go back. I don't regret doing the time in the military. I just don't think, in my personal opinion, that that's for everybody. So I like when people are like, "Hey, what can I do when I get out of school?" Or even my young friends that I have now is like, "Damn, I'm thinking about going to the military." I'm like, make sure it's something you want to do, because like I didn't want to do it, but like I said, I just went there because I just felt like I needed to do it. But I mean, I got so many stories about the military that it's just like it can go on and on and on. But not to be all over the place either. Go back to the car thing. So when I ended up paying that car off, I got my other car, And this is where the whole school thing kicks in because in school they don't teach us anything about interest rates at all. So like I ended up signing this whole little car loan or car payment, whatever you want to call it, for a $10,000 2013 Altima. This was like in 2017. So the year is 2017. I bought a 2013 Nissan Altima for $10,000 that had 90,000 miles on it. So to me, 90,000 miles, like I didn't know nothing about mileage either. I'm like, okay, this is just another car that has mileage on it. So this is where you live and you learn kind of plays in a part. So I bought this car for $10,500, right? And I paid that down to like 4 or 5 grand. And the irony of the whole thing is, I got into another wreck where that car got totaled. So here I'm like, oh, now I got to start back all over. So I then have to start back over, and I lost that car. So I was like a little bit upset. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like I might have shed a couple tears on it, but that was like another little lesson in life to where I was just like, all right, now you got to move forward and kind of go on about your business. So I kind of like instantly in my mind, when I come across problems, like my gears in my mind started kind of like shifting. They started working. So I'm like, all right, here I am with a car. But on that car, I had gap insurance. I learned from the first one, so I had the gap insurance, and then I had like some other kind of like reimbursable insurance. Like, so if I ever wreck that car, my insurance will kind of pay me a certain amount of money to kind of go like, I think they called it like car replacement kind of insurance that I had on there, which I didn't know I had on there either. I was just paying on it. I never expected to wreck that car while I was paying on it, but it wasn't obviously it wasn't my fault. That's neither here nor there. So I paid on that car for a little bit, and so then I ended up getting my next car. And then I was able to like learn more about interest rates on this, which I knew from the past two previous cars that hey, interest rates is important. So the second car that I had a 23% interest rate on it. So which meant pretty much like an example. So if I paid $10,500 for that car, or not really paid, but got the loan for it, in reality, if I made my minimum payments for the next 5 or 6 years for that specific car, in total, I would have paid 20 something thousand dollars for a $10,000 car. But only reason is that's because my interest on it was so high. So like here I am once again, a $10,000 car that I'm in reality paying 20 something thousand dollars for because my interest so high because my credit wasn't that high. So when I ended up getting rid of that car, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. So like I said in my other streams, I feel like everything in life happens for a reason. So when I got rid of that car, I knew automatically like, okay, my credit is somewhere where I wanted to be at. So now that I've established my credit over the course of the years growing up, I'm able to get something I actually want or get something like I can really go out and get any car that I want. But me being, I wouldn't say cheap. Like I said, a lot of people think I'm cheap. I'm not really cheap. I consider myself conservative with how I spend my money. Uh, I think that, like, I pretty much thought that if I get something that I like and I actually want, and I see myself driving for the next 4 or 5 years, but at the same time having like a low interest on it, then I can go a long way with it. So that's pretty much how that went. So I ended up getting this car, a 2014. This was like 2020. So here 2020, I ended up buying a 2014 Volkswagen. Nice car. I mean, it sounded good. Paint was good on it. I mean, that car was good. So I got that car for like 14 grand. My minimum payments were like 230. My previous payments were 309. So it wasn't really like hurting me in the pockets that I'm like, okay, well, it's saving me money in the long run, but at the same time I'm like, I don't want to ever really like have to pay on this thing forever. So I kept making my same $300 payments, even though my payments were 230 roughly. So I ended up making those payments, and I still have that card now. And so now going from a 23% interest down to like a 6 or 5% that I'm in now, like a 5% interest on the car I have now, that is a huge difference. So like I said, I tell people like that I can like make sure you take care of that credit part in life is the biggest thing. And I don't know, it's crazy because like a lot of people my age, and it's weird to say like without being like biased or being a certain type of way from my point of view, I feel like a lot of people my age are so not into the whole thing about interest or credit because they don't really know the importance of it, which is nothing to blame. Because like I said, a lot of people are my age. We weren't taught that growing up. So I think that schools nowadays it's better like to where you get to when you get your senior in high school. I think that it's better to teach kids about interest rates, how to write a checkbook, how to do all this stuff that you don't really learn in school that you have to do in your adult life. Like here I am 27 and like I said I still don't know how to write a single check. It might be simple. I mean, I can go in and learn about it, but like I said, me personally now in this very moment, I do not know how to write a check at all. And I mean, that's sad to say, but I just didn't learn it in school and I had nobody ever to teach me that. So a lot of stuff I learned now, mostly 100% of it being like credit, like I taught that on my own. So I I, I don't know. I think it's all different in a way, I guess. But I don't know. I think I said it like I hate to keep on reiterating, but like I said, you can get anything with credit. Like I can like not to brag, but you really can get anything with credit. Especially when you hit that 700 mark, the 750, 780, 800 mark, you can get anything. And a lot of people always tell me like, hey, once you hit 750, it's almost equivalent to 800, which is true because anytime somebody runs your credit, they're like, oh my gosh, this guy has 750 or this girl has 750. Like they'll approve you for anything. Like they will approve you for anything, like any kind of card, any kind of thing. And like I said, a lot of people now that I know that I've talked to about things or just given any kind of advice on, they're still in the process of trying to get their first credit card. My personal thing, uh, my personal opinion on credit cards is like they're a gift and a curse. So like they're good at times and then they're bad at times. Like they're good for more so just emergencies. I feel like they're good for like a vacation or like a car problem or just like maybe even a grocery shopping thing or just anything like that. But you got to make sure you pay those things back on time. You got to make sure you pay them things back when you can because what happens is like let's start for example like you have a $500 credit limit on those things, right? And you might get it up to like $100 or $200 and you're like, oh hey, when I get paid I'll put $100 on it. So here's your balance at $200. You put $100 on that little $200 balance and you're stuck with $100 and you're like, okay. Sorry about that, my mic keeps shutting off. But so, like I said, you have a $200 balance on this card that has like a $500 credit limit. And you're like, okay, well, I'll pay $100 on it this time, but then when I get paid again, I'll pay $100 on it next time, pay it off. But I feel like it doesn't work that way because you get this balance in there. You're like, okay, well, I'll pay this off next time. So here you are with a $100 balance in there from the previous balance you had on there. And then what happens is you end up using that credit card again. So that $100 turns into 150, 150 turns into 200, 200 turns into like 250, 300, so on and so forth. So here you are, like now you put yourself in a balance. So constantly every month you're paying on this balance because you never want to pay the full balance off because of other bills. So it's kind of hard. So that's why I always tell people like the credit cards are good. Don't get me wrong, they're good, they're good, they're good. But at the same time, like they're just also like a I wouldn't say a curse, but they're like they can become a hassle if you let it get out of control. So like I think that if you let those credit cards get out of control, like that's just one more headache on top of like everything else you have to do. But those are the things that I learned like growing up into the age I am now, as far as like getting to where I am now. It's like you got to learn those kind of things, and writing a check. I'm hoping I don't ever have to do it, which if it comes to the point, like I said, I don't know how to do all that. Um, yeah, so those are things that I taught myself. I love the game. Like I said, I like I more so like the game on PC. I feel like playing on smaller screens is a lot better for me. Like right now, like I game on a 27 inch and then like a 20 or 32 inch because like I can kind of focus on a more smaller area. A lot of people I know like the game on like bigger screens, which I used to like doing it, but I feel like it's just so much like it's just such a big area to kind of focus on. So like I prefer to do it on smaller screens. But that's just me. So I got two dogs. I'm married. Uh, just recently married. I've been with the same girl for since I was 16, 17. I got a 6-year-old dog and a 2-year-old. She's about to be 3 like in a couple weeks. Actually, in a couple days. Actually, on April 5th, she turns 3. Um, but I love animals. I'm not really a big fan of cats. I don't mind fish, but after a while they die every couple of weeks. You kind of got to replace them. I love to cook as well. My first thing I bought, I think when I moved in my own apartment, was an air fryer. And I didn't know how to use it. So a quick little side story. I thought that an air fryer was just this elite dish, and which it is now. Don't know how to use it, but I threw some chicken in there and kind of just turned the temperature on, and I didn't, I didn't know anything about it. So I threw some chicken in there and tried to cook this chicken right. The chicken turned out not to be cooked all the way. So when I ate it, I don't think I ate it. I just kind of took like a little quick little bite off of it. I just, long story short, I ended up throwing up because the chicken wasn't done, and I blamed it on the place that I got it from because I felt like the chicken was expired, but it was definitely me. Until like up to that date that happened, when that happened, I was like I'm never cooking chicken again. So me half cooking that chicken that one time in this air fryer, like in my beginning of cooking stages, I always tell myself I wouldn't eat chicken again at all. But I now, like I said, now I'm a lead at it. I consider myself an elite in the kitchen. Like I consider myself up there with Gordon Ramsay. You know, I think my cooking things are pretty good. Um, I love tattoos. I love ink. I'm very big on art. Like I always tell myself I would get one turn into two, two turn into three, and then so on and so forth because I always want to connect, like make it a story. I'm very religious. I'm very big on like I said, everything that happens in life, it's our story's already written out. But I never want to. I always want to lead people the right way, but I never want to push religion on people that don't want to be pushed on. So like I don't know, like it's always weird. I always tell people to have like, I guess move through life like knowing that hey, like if you have a bad day today, tomorrow, like God has already written your story out for the next day and the next day and the next day. So like whether it's a bill, whether you have like a car problem, like that stuff does not last. Like that stuff doesn't last. There's always a fix for anything, and some things are permanent, but also at the same time, like they're permanently temporary. If that makes sense, like you're able to adjust to them every time. Whether it's an injury or anything like that, like the way my mind is constructed, like I said, I feel like you can work through anything in life, like and kind of go through it. Uh, I don't know. I guess that makes sense. So what I do for work is I work in event management. So like I do a lot of things with events and stuff like that. I put up tents, tables, chairs, stuff like that. I mean, and if a person were to ask me, do I enjoy doing what I do? Yes and no. I enjoy it to an extent because I'm able to talk to people. I'm able to network. I'm able to like kind of see different things and kind of see like things that I actually love to do. So like working with my job now, I don't mean to bore people. When y'all go back and watch it, I don't mean to bore y'all, but uh, I enjoy what I do to a certain extent, being as though I love my coworkers. I love talking to these guys. I love to be friendly with people. I love to have that kind of relationship with people. So it makes my day go by easier when I'm talking to people in that kind of manner, like to where I can joke with them and kind of kiki and talk to them. It makes my job easier. So I kind of more so work with like weddings and like big events that people do, like as far as like dances or anything. I mean, it can be like a birthday party, receptions, wedding ceremonies, anything of that nature. Like I kind of do all that. I mean, is it fun? It can be if you let it. I think that's with any job. So if you wake up in the morning, you're like, I don't want to go work today. Like your day's gonna go by long. But I think that's just how things go over time. But I'm a very also positive person. Like I said, forgive me for the stuttering that happens when y'all watch some of my videos. Like I said, I think I get overly excited when I talk in general. So sometimes my words slip up, or sometimes I feel like I talk too fast, and in a manner that it's like, all right, not like slow down. Um, but it all. Sorry about that. Wait on my Zaxby's little order. But I love food. I love to eat. I also love to go to the gym. I love being in shape. I love staying in shape. I love you never know what can happen. You never know what can come about. But like I said, this is just a little quick little video to kind of give y'all like a little background of who I am and what I like to do in my little free time. Like I said, I love pistols. I love shotguns. I love ARs. I love all that. I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. I'm a firm believer in and having your rights to do anything. Uh, I I consider myself. very elite at Call of Duty. Not really big on Fortnite, but very elite at Call of Duty and at little games like that. I'm very competitive in life with everything I do, no matter if it's like a single little game like Uno or Spades or anything like that. I'm very competitive at it. But so Monday through Friday, me and my other little friend, we do like little podcasts during the week, kind of just like different little subjects, covering different topics during the week. So Monday through Friday, I do those, and on the weekends, I kind of want to do something where I can kind of come on here and just talk to people on Twitch or whatever little streaming service, and kind of like just kiki and go back and forth with people and get to know my future friends. But that's kind of what I like to do. Um, I don't know. I love cleaning cars. I detail cars on the side all because I just like I mean I like to do it. I love waxing things. It sounds cliche, it sounds boring, but I mean these are things I just like to do. I'm a really cool person. I'm laid back. I don't like drama. I don't like any negative energy. I kind of just stay to myself. Have my little man cave that I like to call it, where I come in here and chill, hang out, game, whatever. So the people I meet on Twitch or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, I like to interact with. So if you guys are there, follow me on YouTube at Nation TV 453 or the Discord or any of my socials. They're all on here that you guys can follow me on. So if you guys watch this video, stay tuned to the future podcast. Like I said, if there's anything else you want to know about me, I'm free to answer. Uh, Check out the TikTok. I love making TikTok videos. They're something I do in my free time for fun. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter. All my links are obviously on the video. Whatever, y'all can kind of check those out. But if y'all got any more questions, like I said, just hit me up. I'm glad for the couple people that kind of stopped by and watched this little chat. I appreciate you guys. It means a lot. And like I said, I'm just trying to do something I like to do in my little free time. So thank y'all. Before y'all leave the stream, I got a little song by Caleb Gamble. That guy's gonna go a long way in life. He has a very beautiful voice. That guy's great. So I'm gonna play this one little song for y'all to kind of listen to on the way out the stream and just check it out. And I hope everybody has a good night. Sorry about that. I cannot keep this mic the same as in my life, but I'm gonna play like a little song in the end of the stream to kind of just let y'all kind of listen to it. This guy's great. Like I said, his name's Caleb Gamble. You can find him on Facebook, Apple Music. The song's called Long Shot. It's one of my little songs that I have on my streams whenever I leave it. So just check it out. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, my name is Dewitt. I go by D most of the time, but some people call me Dwight. Like I said, it's spelled Dewitt. Obviously, y'all see. Like I said, some people pronounce it as Dwight. But I never really correct anybody. As long as I can talk to anybody, that's all that matters to me. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good rest of y'all's night. Like I said, I look forward to streaming again for y'all. So y'all be good, and I appreciate it.